Hey guys, it's Mo. Welcome back to Mo Reads It. And today we're doing 22 books to read in 2022. So the new year is almost upon us. Last year, my reading love reignited. And this year, I'm ready to get into the new. I really want to read like all the books that I didn't read in the past few years that really capture my attention, and also I want to read some new books that I just don't know of, like new authors, new genres, new everything. But today this genre will be mostly fantasy because that is what I read the most of, and that is what this channel is really about, fantasy. My goal is to read more fantasy romance overall because I feel like I read a lot of fantasy and I read a lot of comfort books last year, but I wasn't able to read the fantasy romance books that I wanted. When I picked up a book and it's like fantasy romance, it really wasn't, and I was just like let down. So this year I really want to do more fantasy romance. If you have fantasy romance recommendations, please put them down below so I can add them to my list of books I'm gonna read. So 22 books in 2022 is not a hard feat for me. I read 66 books last year, and that I did that relatively easily. That was without me really having like a reading goal or commitment, and I didn't even read for the entire year. I started reading in March, so yeah. And this is also with me taking long periods of time off of reading, so my next year I'm pretty sure I can hit these 22 books. So let us begin. Number one coming in at Shatter Me. So back in the day I saw this book around everywhere and I always wanted to read it and I never did, and now they're coming out with like exclusive editions. They're like, I want to say it's Fair Loot, and I actually really am tempted to get them. So I want to read the books first before I actually buy them, because I'm just like, I want to know if I actually want to spend my money on this, if I actually like it, if it's worthy of my shelves. So yeah, the next book, Firekeepers' Daughter. I think this book won many awards. I'm not sure. I like to leave my books pretty, like, I don't like to know that much about them honestly, so I don't really read the synopsis for most books because I just want to go in like and have like a magical surprise. And that's what I want for Firekeeper's Daughter. Chain of Thorns. This is like my only anticipated book of 2022 because I need to know what happens, and I think that the Last Hours trilogy is going to take my favorites away from the Infernal Devices as Cassandra's Clare's favorite series and give it to the Last Hours, because I am just so in love with Cordelia and like the Merry Thieves and all of them, and James. So yeah, okay, Chain of Thorns, my only anticipated book of 2022, and I will be pre-ordering this book as soon as I can, almost immediately. Song of Achilles. So everyone was like going crazy over this in Big Talk, and I really want to know like what's the hype about. I ordered it in special exclusive edition from a crate because it was so beautiful, and I was like, I better love this because I ordered the fancy version, the expensive version. So hopefully I like this. Legendborn. I've heard great things about this. I see this on a lot of people's like favorite books list, and I'm like, I need to read you. I know nothing about you, but I want to read you. Kingdom of the Cursed. This is another book that I feel like everyone was talking about on BookTube and Book Talk, and I read one book by the author, Stalking Jack the Ripper, gave it like a 3.7-ish and 3.5 review, and I think the rest of the books in the series are supposed to be better, so I'm hoping to read those as well because it was good. It was pretty good. Like, it wasn't amazing, it was like, it was good. The Inheritance Games. This was on a lot of people's favorite books of 2021, so I was just like, I need to read it in 2022. I see it all over the world. I need to see it in my own view and read it because a lot of people are talking about it, and I just want to know why. Like, even with Cindy, she said that this was one of her favorite books of 2021, and I'm just like, I will read it. I shall surely read it. Strange the Dreamer. I know everyone loves this book. I've never read this book. I really feel like I need to just get on it and just read it. Plus, I don't like the new cover, so I'm hoping to find a used one with the original cover to put into my collection if I do love it. So I really need to read it before more of those copies just end up like not being available for buying. And then Caraval. I really want to read this because I really want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, I believe, because I think the series are like connected through characters. So I really want to read Caraval because of that book, and I really want to read that book because it just looks really enticing. The cover seemed enticing, and yeah, I am totally someone who will read a good book because of the cover, even though I take the cover off because I love a naked hardback far more. The Poppy Wars, another book that I just saw a lot of people talking about, and I was like, I don't know anything about this, but I want to read it and I think it'll be good for me. I hope you guys notice I'm not doing synopsis for any of these books because I don't know what they are about. These are just books that I feel like reading because a lot of people have been talking about it, and I don't like looking for good books. I like reading books that I know the majority of people already think are good, because I hate reading a book that I don't care about. It really bothers my soul. I feel like it's a waste of my time. I could be reading a 10 times better book, and I'm only gonna be alive for so long, and I need to take that into account. It's not waste my time reading books I don't care about. Children of Blood and Bone. So I actually have this one in hardback. I really wanted to read it, and I got a lot of awards, a lot of hype. I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. I'm gonna read it. I only have 10 books on my shelves that I haven't read yet, and this is one of them. I'm excited to read it. I know it has lots of diversity and fun characters in it, so I'm excited because obviously, being a diverse person, it's nice to read about other diverse people. So yeah. And then I also want to read Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I bought this book used actually because everyone was talking about it because his newest release came out and people were just going like hype head over heels for this book, and I was like, you know what, I just gotta get it because all these people are going crazy over it and I have no idea what's even about. So yeah, got it, did it, do right. These Hollow Vows. So I really wanted to read this book because it was one of those books that came out in like a book box, and I really thought it was a really interesting cover, and a lot of people said that on bookstagram that they really liked this book in 2021 and it was a great book and everyone should read it. And I've never heard of this author or this book, and I was just like, oh, I should probably read that. It looks really enticing. She Who Became the Sun. So a lot of bigger booktubers were talking about this, and it was also in a book box, I believe, so I think that's why it got a little bit more hype. But I remember hearing bits and pieces of the synopsis and like bits and pieces of the review of after people read the book, and it had really good feedback and responses. Apparently it was very thought-provoking, and I love a book I can just sit down and like deeply immerse and be very like in love with and have thoughts floating everywhere. So I really am excited to read this one. Daughter of the Pirate King. So this came into my I need to read fantasy romance because that's what makes my soul happy, and I feel like I just don't have enough of it, and I heard that Daughter of the Pirate King is a fantasy romance, so I'm going to read that one. Also The Kiss Deception, The Winter's Curse, Air Awakens are all on my to read in 2022. 22 books to read in 2022 because these are all books a lot of people are talking about in 2021, and I really feel like I just need to get on the game, do this booktubing thing seriously, and the only way I'm gonna do that is if I can read more fantasy romance. So all those were fantasy romances. Ooh, I think We Hunt the Flame is also a fantasy romance, so add that one to the list. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read them all. The next one is The Merciful Crow. So I actually put this book on reserve at the library, and I just never, as like an ebook, and I just never felt like reading it every time my hold became available. So I really want to read it this year since I kept just putting it off last year. I really want to get it because there's a Fairy Trove book of it in the Fairy Loot website, and I just love having the exclusive hardbacks of my favorite books, and I'm like, if this is a potential favorite, the book is here ready to buy. I just need to determine, is it a favorite? And Woven in Midnight, this is a book I actually own on Kindle. I bought it last year. It was also one of those books that everyone was talking about, and I was just like, the cover looks really enticing, and every synopsis and summary book review I heard had great reviews, so I'm doing it in 2022. And then Legend by Marie Lu. So I really want to read this one because we're not surprised. There is going to be an exclusive edition with, I want to say Fairy Loop, I don't remember honestly, but I really kind of want the books, and way back when I was a reader, I always wanted to read this book. I just never got around to reading it, so now I'm gonna do that. And hey, Shatter Me and Legend, OG books I always wanted to read and never got to when I was younger, so we're gonna do that. And last but not least, King of Scars. Y'all know pretty much all of 2021 my reading TBR was preparing me for King of Scars, for Nikolai's story, because Nikolai is my favorite character in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, in the Six of Crows duology. I actually feel like he was the only person I liked out of the Shadow and Bone, because I did not like Shadow and Bone trilogy. I didn't like it, I didn't care for it. It gave me horrible reading slumps, and I'm ready to devour the story of Nikolai. King of Scars, I'm coming for you. I've been preparing for almost like 6 months to read this book. I read all the ones before you, and now I'm ready for you. And I even bought Rule of Wolves just so I can read it immediately after. Finally gonna get to read the book I've been waiting to read for almost a year now. Those were my 22 books to read in 2022. Let me guys know, what are y'all reading in 2022? Because it's right around the corner, and I need to start putting my books on hold at the library before everyone else does, because I don't know why, but I have like 4-month waits at my library, and I'm just like, so I have to put them on hold quickly and soon. So let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to join me every Friday at 1 p.m. PST or 4 p.m. EST. I'm Mo Reads It, and I hope you guys have a lovely new year. Bye!